David Icke is coming up here in the next segment. Again, thank you for joining us. Alex Jones here live on this Thursday edition. Couple program notes. Number one, I will be live this Sunday, 4 to 6 p.m. with the Sunday radio show. I'll leave it at that. Number two, I will be out on the streets of Austin today hanging up Obama posters. Stop the dictator, Obama. And we've been sent hundreds and hundreds of entries for the contest. If you go to Infowars.com, it says Stop Obama Contest. There's a green link up there in the nav bar by the breaking news red link. And hundreds of people are sending us great photoshops of posters, and they're saying, here's my entry. Read the rules. You have to create or use our posters that we have right there, and then hang them in public, legal, lawful commons, like the downtown area where all the other posters are at. And because it is political, somebody might try to say something to you, but if it's a commons area where everybody does that and it's fine, they can't say anything. Check your local laws. On the other hand, I'm being sent some videos that are really great, but it's like hanging them up at gas stations, and I don't mean on the bulletin board. I mean like sticking them to things. Folks, you don't want to do that. Or if you do, just make sure it's in a public commons area where other people do it. You know, if it's a telephone pole with 100, nails in it or 1,000 nails, it's almost like a work of art how many nails there are. For some reason, I think that looks cool. And yeah, you go staple it up there or glue it up there. That's fine. Somebody says something to you, and it's like, did you go after the lady with the lost dog sign above it? You don't like my political speech. That is the most protected. And so the point of this contest is then the media will start covering these, and then it will get more attention. And this is an example of the grassroots power of people going out and hanging up signs. Everybody needs to do it, even if you're not trying to win the $15,000. $5,000 in by midnight Central tomorrow. And we're going to watch them over the weekend, and by Monday night on Nightly News, we'll announce the winner. That's phase one, to just get it going. Then 2 weeks later, $10,000. But legal, lawful areas, it's so easy. I mean, look, if you went out to the outside of a sporting event and handed out 1,000 copies and shot a good video of it, that would be in the running. If you went to the big downtown district where there's all the thousands of posters and hung up, it's whoever hangs up the most and shoots a good video of it and uploads it to YouTube. And then sends it to contest@Infowars.com. And again, we're getting hundreds and hundreds of great posters sent to us. We're happy to link to those. Some of them are a lot better than even ours. We have some great graphics people. Kay did an amazing job here in our office on that one. Murdering Dictator Obama, Infowars.com. Show them some of the other ones. But we also have listeners sending us some very creative ones. But it's not a poster contest just to make a poster. Okay? It's to hang them in public, get off the bench, and get involved on the street. That's what it is all about. And people say, well, why don't you do a Mitt Romney one? Okay, we'll create a half Obama, half Romney one. The point is, it's Obama that's trying to become a dictator right now. Well, if Romney does all this stuff, if he gets in, we'll go after him. You better believe it. Politically. He is launching wars without approval, going after our guns without laws. He is shutting down power plants without laws. He's legalizing illegals. This is horrible. And when the media freaks out about it, they're taking the bait. So after you're done hanging them up, call up the local news and say, did you see this downtown? There's hundreds of posters calling Obama murdering scum. Better report on it. Here's the street. So the idiots who hate free speech go out and show themselves. Then they'll run TV pieces against it. It'll backfire, and everybody else that understands it'll go put them up. That's what happened 3 years ago. So we're baiting the tyrants. You understand this? So it's at Infowars.com right now. A lot of amazing videos already coming in. This is just the kickstart, priming the pump, $5,000. You got till tomorrow night. It's easy. Print off the posters, go hang them up, shoot video, upload it, send it to us. Boom. That's right, my friends. You have found at the tip of the spear when it comes to trying to break humanity out of the mind control, physical trance that people are under medically. That's mainline science. The general public of television, iPad heads is in a near sleep state, sleepwalking phase. Major studies out. Just type in Alzheimer's, television viewing, heavily connected to Alzheimer's. People are literally in a sleep state. They are the waking, walking zombie undead. And we are here to unlock their minds. What does John Carpenter show us in They Live? They live, we sleep. We are in their little false matrix-like consumer reality. Meanwhile, the real decisions are going on around us, and humanity is doing one of two things: sinking deeper into the sleep of living death, the trance, or accelerating their awakening. We are in such an incredible crossroads. This time is so amazing right now. But those that think they're going to find satisfaction through Madison Avenue in this culture of death, they're more unhappy than ever and desperate. All the studies and research show. But those that are awakening are so alive, we can hardly even handle it. It's so incredible. The New World Order cannot fulfill you, ladies and gentlemen, and that's the trap. You get deeper into it, you think that you'll be happy if you just go still deeper. We're going to be talking to David Icke, icon of awakening, here in just a moment. DavidIcke.com. I'm Alex Jones, of course, of Infowars.com. It is the 21st day of June 2012 on this Thursday transmission. Here's some of what's coming up after David leaves us. The new TSA checkpoints expanding outside the airports, trusted traveler, but they're going to keep the groping, just add more with the hope that maybe if you behave yourself, you won't have to be abused. Total Pavlovian psychological conditioning, we told you a decade ago. After they terrorize you with the TSA, they would give you the solution, the cashless society, face scanning to buy and sell. This begins with the TSA, authorizing you to have jobs, to travel. It's an open announcement. That's how we knew all this was coming, the highway checkpoints, all of it. It's happening worldwide, by the way, standardized. Big Supreme Court announcements are set to come out today or in the next few days on socialist health care, eugenics health care, all of it. House panel votes to cite Holder for contempt of Congress. Obama pulls a Nixon and cites executive privilege. But you can't do that for crimes. You can only do that for private government operations, private meetings with ambassadors and people. You can't do it with shipping guns to Mexico as a false flag terror attack. Will this false flag terror attack that's killed thousands on both sides of the border bring this criminal to justice? And is it a good thing? We'll ask David Icke here in a moment. Is it good to punish a puppet? Does it scare other puppets not to follow their master's orders? It's a big victory. Fast and Furious came out because ATF wasn't pure evil, started leaking it. Also coming up, they're running new TV ads saying whites are inherently racist and bad. This is to create racial division. Right as many race wars break out, and many blacks believe whites are evil and are now physically attacking them. The media is saying this is a great thing. They want us at each other's throats. We're also going to get into Australia plays its part in, quote, going green. Carbon taxes start next week. They say you'll be arrested if you criticize the carbon taxes. You cannot make up the magnitude of this. We're going to be breaking it all down today. And joining us now is David Icke. I haven't talked to David, best-selling author, former champion, goalie, BBC anchor, news and sports. I say head of the Green Party. He's here with us, former head of the Green Party. He's here with us today as he joins us every few months, graciously out of his busy schedule, to continue to chronicle where we are from his perspective on the map of awakening, fear versus love. And David, I don't ever do pre-interviews with you. So much is happening, but things are becoming so clear to those of us that are awakening. It's always a process of always still awakening more. I wouldn't say I'm awake, but compared to those that are in deep sleep, we are certainly on fire with the awakening. Out of the gates, what is front and center on David Icke's radar?
Well, a lot of things, really, Alex, not least sitting in Britain this summer. We have a nightmare of Illuminati satanic rituals called celebrations of the Queen's 60th year on the throne and the Olympics and all that stuff. And it's all going on simultaneously. I mean, the Queen stuff has died down a bit now, but the Olympics is coming. So that's a major part of it. It's, you know, the symbolism is just an open book to anyone who studied it. What's been going on, but you bring an interesting point up there about people awakening and people not awakening, and it absolutely fits with what I've been saying and writing for years about the nature of the way we experience reality. For me, we have what I call body-mind, which is that which basically experiences the world through the conscious mind of the five senses. But we are in our infinite self, consciousness, awareness, that is beyond this reality of the five senses. And the idea, in a non-manipulated, non-suppressed and twisted, distorted, inverted world, we would have the connection and the experience of the five senses. We'd be in this world, in this reality, in this frequency band we call visible light, the electromagnetic field. But we would not be totally of it, because we would have a connection and an influence from levels of our awareness, not some external guy in a spacesuit, in a UFO, the greater level of our own consciousness, which would be giving us a fix on, from that greater perspective, from the top of the hill, if you like, of what we're actually experiencing. So you're in this world because you're interacting with it through the five senses, but you're not totally of this world in terms of the way you're perceiving it. Now, the whole basis of this conspiracy, the foundation of it, is to enslave our point of attention in the five senses, in what I call body-mind. Because then, once that influence of the greater self has been silenced, if you like, then the only place that people are going to try to get a fix on who they are, where they are, and the nature of the reality they're experiencing is to look outward through the eyes and the ears and look at the information that's coming back at them from that direction. And who is that? That's the education system, which has been set up specifically to program children and young people to become the non-challenging, non-questioning slaves as adults. It's the global media 24/7 in all its incredible forms now and expressions, which is feeding us a fake version of reality and a program version of reality. Peer pressure's doing it from people who've been through the same system. Parents are doing it to children because they've been through the same programming. And so it goes on. And so you get locked in this reality of little me, of I have no power, of I'm so limited, which is where they want us. But when you start to awaken, you know, these truisms, these phrases that we use and throw away all the time have profound truths in them, like, will you open your mind? When you open your mind, you let other levels of your awareness in, and suddenly you are not only seeing things, perceiving things that you couldn't see before, you're now seeing how dots connect, which you couldn't see before. Sure. Because you were in the world of the dots. Now you're accessing a level of self that can see how the dots connect. And not only that,
you're pulling back, basically. You're pulling back and seeing the larger image.
You're expanding your consciousness. It's like the difference between standing at a wall and looking at close range at a brick, and then pulling out and realizing the brick is part of a house, the house is part of a street, the street is part of a town, the town's part of a country, the country's part of a world, etc., which you see from the bigger picture.
And it's incredible to see the global standardization that you've talked about so much. I mean, this whole thing is a plan.
It is a plan, and it is, as I've been saying for years, at its foundation, the conspiracy is a mind game, and it has to be for a simple reason. The number of people in full awareness, or even major awareness, of what's happening and why and where the direction's going are so tiny compared with the target population that they cannot do it physically. They can in small areas with soldiers at the door and tanks in the streets, yes, but they cannot do it to 7 billion people. The only way they can do it and control 7 billion is to get them to perceive reality, perceive self, little me, no power, and all the rest.
It's all a magician's trick. That's what that's what the big government buildings are about. It's what the black uniforms are about. It's what this idea